Everyone, we are the authors Ian K. Kim, and today we will be introducing our new book, Seeing Beings is Believing, a hidden world of mythical creatures. To continue on, we will also briefly explain what the book is about, including short summaries for each story in the book. So, whether you're a fan of fantasy, mythology, or history genres, this book will have something for almost everyone. This book that we have written is compiled of 12 separate stories that may in some instances interlink with one another, meaning that a few characters may cross over into other stories. This book does not have a chronological order or sequence you have to follow. You can read at your own pace and choose which story you want to read first. There's a lot on offer when it comes to mythical creatures or topics to do with the fantasy and mythology genres. In the stories we have written, each revolves around the idea of how mythical creatures live within the human world, but have to remain hidden in plain sight. Whether you want to read stories about the famous harbinger of death, called the Grim Reaper, gargoyles, kitsunes, dragons, demons, the Dullahan, vampires, witches, water horses, zombies, werecats or cat people, ghosts, wolves, and many other enchanting beings, this book contains many characters one can relate to, with many things they have to overcome or battle within their own stories. If it is history that you're more interested in, then this book does have historical elements in some of the stories, whether it be with the kitsune in Japan, with Aya, who has to train for the Samurai Guild, or the daughter of Björn Ironside, who is turned into a vampire, and Cleopatra the cat person, the last long-ruling pharaoh of Egypt. Our book, Seeing Beings is Believing, a hidden world of mythical creatures, is a story with many different plot twists, secrets, and links waiting to be uncovered. For anyone who wants a bit of everything in a book, then look no further. Now, let's briefly describe what each of the stories is about. A Dynasty of Cat People Part 1. Cleopatra Philopato's life story. How she overcame her enemies and fought to maintain her right to rule the Egyptian throne, whilst tackling her newfound abilities of being a cat person. Sing Me a Song of the Dead. Freya Ironside, daughter of the legendary Björn Ironside, she fights in battle with sheer might and determination. However, life does not go as planned, as she turns into a vampire. The Mermaid That Never Listened. Story about a mermaid that has a very complicated relationship with his father, the mighty Poseidon, king of Atlantis. The Legend of the Dullahan. The story of the Irish legend of the horseman who has no head and wears black flowing robes. The monstrous creature is known to wreak havoc in Ireland, but this story explains how the legend came into being. The true story of the Grim Reaper. Have you ever wondered whether the harbinger of death ever lived himself once before? Well, his name is Thomas Reap, and his story is finally being told. Famous witch Baba Yaga. Irina is a poor woman. She loses her mother and lives in a run-down old shack with her stepfather. Eventually, she finds out she has an immense power. But will it end well for her in the end? Huhuzian and the Emperor of China. Mitoko is a Huhuzian, a fox-like creature similar to a kitsune. She is invited to the palace to meet the emperor because of her skills in woodcraft. Will she be able to keep her Huhuzian form in control? Shattered Blade, Tale of Shadow Kitsune, a story of a kitsune who struggles, named Aya, who has to fulfill her duty to her family, training for the Samurai Guild. Unfortunately, once she does leave her home, a disastrous set of events is to follow. Fog's remarkable life journey. Journey with Fog around the globe, as he discovers many new mythical creatures, which he writes down in his handy journals. But one secret will only be revealed at the end of the story. That of his own family history. Ward of the Grim Reaper, story set in the 1800s, with many characters that work for the Grim Reaper, in the order of the Grim Reaper story. Revenge of the Hunter, a short story about an African Inuit descendant, a woman who loses someone and vows to get revenge on whoever was involved in her loved one's passing. The Tale Unraveled, current day story 2023, involves characters from almost all stories and how they go about their lives. Now,
That covers each story.
In the future, we will read short story segments from each and every story contained in the book. Thank you for watching our video. If interested, you can buy our book on Amazon and Lulu.